Shortly after Easter this year, scaffolders again moved into the cathedral, this time to erect scaffolding up to the top of the Lantern Tower, over 40 metres away. It's part of the ongoing, long-term and costly conservation work committed to way back in 2014. In some ways, this makes us a real cathedral. Have scaffolding, must be real. The video clips and photos tell something of the work currently being done in adding seismic strengthening to one of the most vulnerable parts of the cathedral. As the Dean's stall would almost certainly be crushed were there to be an earthquake, I have a particular interest in seeing this work completed. The costs, which will be in the order of $150,000, are being covered on this occasion by the Synod of the Diocese of Adelaide, recognising the important role that St. Peter's Cathedral plays in the diocese as Mother Church. I hope you enjoy the rest of this short presentation.
Hi, I'm Michael Griffith. I'm a Professor of Structural Engineering at the University of Adelaide, and Jerry Vakulik is a postdoc researcher at the University of Adelaide. And we've been working on the topic of earthquake strengthening of existing structures for maybe 20 years now. With our experience and the research we've done, the opportunity has presented itself for us to give some suggestions on how the St. Peter's Cathedral committee could actually build in a little bit of at a marginal cost, a little bit of extra earthquake resistance to the cathedral. So in the event of a future sizable earthquake, the damage will be restricted, limited to a point where the cathedral would still be at least economical to repair, and it wouldn't be completely demolished like the cathedral in Christchurch experienced. Gary, did you want to?
The thing that I'd probably add is just that the elements that we're focusing on aren't the entire cathedral, because that would just be way too costly to strengthen the entire building, but we're sort of tapping into knowledge of what happens to masonry buildings of this type, as has been seen overseas under earthquake, and so we're taking those learnings in terms of what are the most vulnerable elements, and those are the particular elements that we're looking to strengthen in the cathedral. So what we call out-of-plane failure is basically elements that you can think of them as freestanding masonry components that sort of just topple like rocking blocks when they get shaken around. So we're looking to stabilize mostly those type of elements, and that's sort of how you get the most bang for your buck, if you will.
But Jerry, I see a lot of steel work has been going into the cathedral today. Can you explain that a bit?
So the work that's happening in the lantern, it consists of two belts. There's a belt at the upper level of the lantern and the lower level, and then at each of the 8 piers there's going to be a steel rod that is connected, that's joined by the two belts at the top and bottom. So the idea is that when the lantern wants to move sideways, the rods are going to go into tension and they'll effectively hold the lantern down. So it provides a stabilization for the most vulnerable type of collapse mechanism that you can get in a structure such as the lantern.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing perhaps more and watching the work progress.
Great. Okay.
So I'm up high up in the Lantern Tower and looking at the steel work, steel ring or band that is being put in place here. This is the bottom of 2 rings of steel that will be placed here as the first part of the seismic bracing. Just to give you some idea of the size of it all, these bolts are 500 millimeters, so that's drilled flat into the rock, into the stone, bolted in, painted. The paint is a pretty good match. We're unlikely to be able to see it at all from the bottom. And if I just come down here, you can see the little round hole. That will take the steel rod going in there, and then it'll run up about 12 meters right up the tower. So we disappear into the distance, and next week the new band will be put in and the rods connected up. Just come back. There's quite a lot of noise at the moment because the winch is being adjusted to take the steel rods, which need to be winched up from the ground level. I'm wearing my hard hat safely under scaffold flooring, and there's the ladder that I'm about to climb down and make my way back down to the ground level.